rest, I'm going to have these closer to the door. So to begin with, I want to show the 16mm camera that I've shot on. This was acquired from Visual Products, a third-party seller based in Ohio. I purchased this camera in 2020, during the pandemic actually, right at the beginning of the pandemic. This is the camera body. I purchased an Arri SR I versus the SR II and SR III. It has a handle. I added a small rig cheese plate. You can see that here with the different screw holes, so I can add as many accessories as I want to. Visual Products installed a video tap here, which is an high definition SDI video tap. The day before production is when I dress the camera. You want to save as much time as you possibly can. I've made the mistake of dressing the camera the day of shooting, and you end up going overtime. People are waiting on you, watching you put little accessories on the camera. It's not a good place to be in, so you must be prepared as much as possible. So the Arriflex SR comes with its own lens support rods, which attaches on the shoe mount in the front. It also comes with little extension pieces. I give myself two rod support systems, one which is close to the lens, and this bottom piece, the base plate, which goes underneath. Granted, this camera is from the late 70s, and so you have these nickel halide batteries. These have been resold by Visual Products in 2020. I have never used these. So that is why I have this base plate with the rods facing the back, so I can attach all of the V-mount accessories. In my camera support kit, I have a very long flathead screwdriver that I use. I also have a short flat-end screwdriver. I have mini flat-end screwdrivers. I built this for these coin slot screws, and it fits in perfectly. A coin, usually it starts to burr the slot itself. If you have too thin of a profile on these flat-end screwdrivers, you'll begin to mar the little slots. This is an O'Connor Model 50 tripod head. You can see on the plate here. My recommendation for any of you that are breaking into independent filmmaking, especially 16mm filmmaking, is to utilize eBay to your advantage. You can find old equipment, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with old equipment. Maybe it has some cosmetic rust. There's nothing wrong with that. If it functions, and that's all that matters. You can save a lot of money purchasing used equipment, old equipment on eBay. This is a model tripod head from O'Connor that was manufactured in, I want to say, the mid-century, possibly in the 1960s, late 1960s. I got it for an astounding price on eBay back in 2020 when I needed it. But this is what I have used for Poet in a Modern World for all of the shoots. I attach it on the hi-hat that you see it on. I attach it on the dolly cart hi-hat. I attach this on to the regular sticks that that you've seen in the behind-the-scenes footage. I was very fortunate to find a listing where this quick release plate was complete with the tripod head. These are hard to find. I added some adhesive grip to this so it catches the bottom of the camera. The screw is tight and excellent. So that is attached. Now I attach this quick release plate to the bottom here, and then I use my homemade coin screwdriver, and that's tight enough. Excellent. Nothing's shifting. That is nice and secure. So now I slip this onto the tripod head like that. There is a locking mechanism in the front here that makes certain that this is not going anywhere. So that is nice and tight. So the camera's on the tripod head, and this is when I like to dress it. It makes it easy to dress. And the next thing I like to do is to attach the V-mount battery. I use an offset piece with additional railing that I attach on the back. This is because I like to get close to the camera like this. And if the V-mount battery was directly attached to the back of this camera, let's say I attach the V-mount battery to the back of the camera and it's protruding like this, it's very hard to get close to the camera, especially if you're looking through the viewfinder. It's intrusive. So this offset arm enables me to place the V-mount on the side. So then I attach this, which enables me to regulate the voltage for my V-mount battery. When you're powering an Arriflex SR camera, it takes 12 volts. There is a peak voltage. I think you can go up to maybe 14 safely without frying the motherboard of this camera. It is an electronic camera. If you immediately plug this camera into the V-mount battery, you're going to fry the motherboard. So you need an adapter like this. This is from Hawkwoods, and I think it's no longer available. I found this on eBay. That's all I can say. It was about $120 if I recall. Anyhow, it gives me multiple D-tap outputs here that are regulated at 12 volts. It's a very, very good system. So I put that on the front because it's not on the back. This allows me to get very close to the camera, as I said. So I put the V-mount battery here. Now if I turn this on, you can see the battery power right here. The Arriflex SR I has an XLR input here. I use this XLR to D-tapped adapter. So this plugs directly into the back, like so. And then this goes into the 12 volt, one of the 12 volt outputs. So the Arriflex SR comes with a standard Arri B mount for lenses, but this was adapted by Visual Products to take Arri PL lenses. So I attach that on there like that. And next I'm going to attach the Viewfinder eyepiece. So there's this part here on the Viewfinder that has a cap, and I loosen that. This is so strange to okay. People have wondered, when do I determine to use the extension? It's usually most of the time. And I say that because most of this film has been shot on a dolly cart. And I'm either standing on the dolly cart or in a position where I can't be very close to the camera. It does have some weight, so it does sink. That's the only trouble. Usually these have some kind of arm piece that's adjustable, which holds it into place, but I don't have that. Again, this is all vintage equipment, so a lot of these items are hard to find. I attached this onto it. You can put a chamois eye cushion on this to ensure that your oily flesh doesn't grease up the eyepiece, to put it crudely. So for those of you that are wondering, this is the range of which you can adjust the viewfinder. I could even put it there. I could put it down here. Swivels. I could even, if someone is on the right side of the camera, I could go like this. There is an aperture in the viewfinder itself that opens when you press into it and closes when you lift your head away. Because if you left this open, there's the chance of light leaking into the viewfinder and exposing your film over time. Especially on a very bright day, that's the last thing you want, is this eyepiece allowing sun into the gate of your camera. So the zoom controller that I've used is from PD Movie. I bought this on eBay, brand new. The antenna of the receiver broke off, but it still functions normally, surprisingly. This is a wonderful zoom controller, and I would recommend getting it if you are using an Arriflex SR or this particular zoom lens. It has excellent torque. It's a little recalcitrant when it comes to calibrating the focal length of your zoom lens. This is the remote of the PD Movie zoom controller. It has a nice little lever. It has a spring, so you can be very particular with the speed of your zooms. So I attach this on. And I put the remote onto the handle of my tripod head. Just like so. And it tightens. Now, the zoom controller is battery powered. LPE12 7.2 volt batteries like this. You can buy some spare ones off of Amazon. Usually the production days last about 9 hours total, and I've never gone through one of these batteries. So when you have this fully charged, you can go through this maybe 2 days of shooting, but I have spares just in case. You never know what's going to happen. The remote controller also takes batteries, a different kind. These are the LI40B/42B batteries. I never use the batteries, to be honest. I usually power it with a V-mount battery, and I try to power as many accessories as I can with the V-mount battery, because then it centralizes it all. There are probably those of you that are very concerned about doing that because I'm powering the camera also with the V-mount battery, but I have had no issues whatsoever. I usually connect a USB hub to power the accessories to this V-mount battery. So that goes in here. This is powered by 5 volts. So I plug this in on the back of the V-mount battery. Okay. And then I feed that to here. You can see here the remote is flashing. It's looking for a signal. So I plug in the battery. I hold this button down, and then it detects the range of the zoom lens. And there I am. I'm ready for business. Now I use the Tilta Nucleus wireless follow focus system, the Nucleus N WLC-T04. So this goes on to the focused gears. Now I have custom made a handle for the controller. The Tilta sends you a quick release plate for the wireless follow focus. It slides right in. I attached that to this cheese plate and added a handle, and then I had a military grade Velcro pocket that I attached to the back. This holds the battery that powers this. I bought a power bank off of Amazon. This one's from Rav Power. And I charge this for 6 hours and it lasts 12. So the whole day of shooting, practically, and I don't have to worry about a darn thing. So I slide this into the pocket and then attach the Velcro. This is not going anywhere. Then I slide the controller onto the quick release plate this way. I lock it. Then I plug this in to power the wireless follow focus system. And I hand it to my first AC, who has adorned the controller with all of this grip tape. It does have a dry erase surface, so if you want to make your marks with a dry erase marker, you can. So the wireless follow focus controller is powered via a micro USB cable. So I plug this in, attach, and run this to the same USB hub. This powers on. This is also on. You hold this down, this button down that says calibrate. And it goes through the focus from start to finish, finds the ends, and then takes you to the middle. And now I can control the follow focus like so. And this is what I use for pulling focus. And I have an excellent first AC. His name is Beck Patusek. He's based in Chicago. He's worked on multiple productions, and he is my right-hand man on Poet in a Modern World. I don't know what I would be doing without him. He also serves as the grip and the gaffer. He is one of the heroes of this film. So when it comes to the video tap, I use the Atomos Samurai Blade. This is a very early monitor from Atomos. It takes SDI cables, takes those Sony F batteries, the F series. I took a little adapter that enables me to power this via V-mount. So I attach the monitor onto the top camera where the cheese plate is, and then I attach my SDI cable, which is running into the V-mount, or into the video tap right here. So now I attach a D-tap to a pin cable. So that goes right into that adapter piece, and then this goes into one of those regulated 12-volt outputs. And now I can power on the V-tap. So now that I have my video tap connected, you can see what the lens is seeing. So we have all of these accessories connected, aside from one last thing, which is not the camera magazines, but the matte box. Now, I don't always use the matte box, maybe to my own detriment. I have noticed some shifts in contrast in some of the images. I also have noticed some vignetting because of the matte box. You have to use your best judgment as a cinematographer, which is a little bit difficult when you're making your very first 16mm feature film. Nonetheless, the matte box that I use is from Crozio, and again, it's an item that I purchased off of eBay. I believe it was $150 when I had acquired it. So this is the matte box here that I use, and this is from Crozio. It's the compact bellows housing 4x3 matte box, and this comes with the CFMB ST, which I believe just means your typical 4x4 combo plate. If I can get this to release for me. So this holds two 4x4 filters, and it comes with another tray, filter tray in the back. That's your standard 4x4. For the zoom lens, I had to acquire an adapter, which I found on eBay. This was from Cavisions. I don't believe they exist anymore, but this fits in very flush with that back, and I put this on to the 72 millimeter diameter lens, so it converts it to 85. So I grab my 15 millimeter rod extension pieces, put those on the ends. You always want to make sure things are dust free. So I attach this on the end, onto the lens. So now that I have this matte box attached, so it does generate a little rattling, unfortunately, as a consequence. This really hasn't been much of a problem when it comes to the production for Poet in a Modern World. This Arriflex camera is Super 16. It was converted to Super 16 by Visual Products. However, Poet in a Modern World is all photographed in 4x3. The lens, the Angenieux zoom lens, only has this particular coverage for Super 16. We have shot in wider focal lengths that would cause vignetting on the 16:9 aspect ratio, but that hasn't been a problem for Poet in a Modern World. This matte box would also pose a problem if we weren't filming in the 4x3 aspect ratio. However, we are filming in the 4x3 aspect ratio. So this was a very cheap matte box, $150. It came with a whole set of filters, and I'm very, very satisfied with this particular matte box. I've only used it on certain sets where lights would cause glaring, or if we were filming outdoors and the sun would also cause glaring. I have an eyebrow that attaches onto the top here. I also have side flags. Okay, so these pieces go into the sides, and I can adjust these to my liking, which is very nice. And these come down. It doesn't get much use, but when I do use it, I'm very grateful that I have it. So these are all of the accessories that I typically use with a 16 millimeter Arriflex SR camera. The next step would be attaching the magazine, but I will leave that for another video. Thank you for watching this one. Hopefully it was informative for those of you that are interested in breaking into 16 millimeter filmmaking, potentially renting one of these 16 SR cameras, have it be the SR 1, 2, or 3. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next video. Camera rolling and action.
Production for Poets in a Modern World has reached its midpoint. Because of the continuous support of countless people across the world who yearn for art created with sincerity and purity, 20% of the funds necessary to tell half of this story were raised. With over 2 miles of footage sent through our 16 millimeter camera, another 2 miles remains untraveled. Only 49% of Poet in a Modern World is left to capture. My gratitude for those who have helped us along the way is inexpressible. This film has been chiefly funded out of my own pocket, and now the rest of the budget lies in the hands of its supporters. If you desire to see the completed film, please consider giving towards the latter part of production to carry our sales to the final destination. Once Poet in a Modern World is ready for the screen, The picture will be taken around the United States for screenings at a myriad of independent cinemas and any film festivals that aren't frightened by its countercultural nature. It is the hope of my cast and crew that the last reel of film will roll through the camera towards the end of 2024. Visit bit.ly/support-poet to join our voyage and help us create a more beautiful cinema together.